All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got random strains of music going on here. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. I'm doing good. I'm well rested because I did not stay up to try and watch this unveiling for Tesla thing because, as usual, it was a little bit of a mess, but they got it done. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it is Friday.
Yes.
GOF, right? That's what I decided we're now going to call it. TGOF. Trading's great on Friday. Hopefully it lives up to that name. We do have some economic events to talk about. Obviously, we have the Tesla, cyber event to talk about. And then, of course, the stuff that's moving in the market. So if you're good, Carlos, we could jump right into the economic calendar.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we have a couple of things. The basically PPI, producer price. Only other economic number that we've got to worry about is the consumer sentiment coming out at 10. It has moved the market. So, and today I think it might have more of an impact than in other days. Probably partly because of the Tesla event, partly because it's a Friday and there's not much else going on. So I think we've got few things happening there. You know, the PPI number does not seem to be moving the market. I mean, the market's up a little bit. If I look at the SPY, it seemed to have jumped about a half point. But I don't know that that's going to have a lasting impact. We'll find out together. The biggest single news event, of course, was the Tesla robo-taxi. I mean, they don't even know what to call it. Is it a robo-taxi or a cybercab? Make up your minds. Anyways, whatever they're calling it, that was the main event that happened at the MGM Studios in California last night. And as usual, Elon, he arrived in his Cybercab robo-taxi thing and displayed all of his usual awkwardness. Normally, by the time you become a CEO, let alone a billionaire and the richest person on the planet, you've got a polished speaking style. He's never bothered with that. He is not one to follow convention, and this was no exception. He just he is awkward the whole way. And is he going to hire a professional speaker? Hell no. He's doing it himself. Damn it. So he made the whole presentation and had three big announcements. Right. So the main one everybody was looking for was the Cybercab or the Robo Taxi, whatever you want to call it. Did unveil that. It's a two-door, driverless vehicle. He says, vague on the details. This is another hallmark of Elon's announcements, right? Investors wanted to know how many, when, how could they get them? All he said is it's expected to come in somewhere around $30,000. He was talking proudly about the price point per mile, where public transport, he was saying, is about $1 per mile. And this should be about 20 cents per mile. And after taxes and everything, about 40 cents per mile. So he's claiming it's going to be significantly cheaper. And it's like, I think he called it privatized public transport. So we'll see how that plays out. Because as we all know, his promises haven't always played out exactly as anticipated. He's done great things. And this is probably going to revolutionize driving once again, but probably not exactly the way it's presented today. Anyway, so that was number one. Number two, he unveiled the Robovan, which is like a 20-person people mover. I don't know if you got any things of the Robovan queued up there, but there you go. There's the big old Robovan. Does that not look like it's right out of RoboCop? I mean, it's anyways. I mean, he's not shirking on the futuristic design of the Robovan there. So who knows what's going to happen with that? It's sort of like the not the Cybertruck, but what did he call the big the semi? There was a semi that was supposed to be like taken over. Still trialing it. Hasn't really done that yet. So I appreciate the vision, but I can't say that who knows if it's going to actually hit the roads at any point in the future. We'll find out. I mean, it basically looks like a futuristic subway car on the road. So, but hey, the vision is there, and I can see the intent. And the third item is Optimus, which is an interesting, advance. The Optimus robot, if you remember in a previous, he even joked about it himself when he was on stage, that he said last time we just brought out a dude in a robot costume. This time he marched a bunch of these Optimus robots out through the crowd. I'm pleased to say, unlike RoboCop, one of them didn't go wild and kill somebody. So I guess that's good. They were well behaved. They just walked out awkwardly like this and, stood around and didn't really do much. I noticed they had some handlers. See the guy off to the right there? Just making sure. I don't know what he was making sure. They didn't go rogue or didn't fall over or whatever he was doing. But yeah, here they are. Also claimed that these should be available to do anything you want. The video I found a little disturbing, with it standing in your home and serving you drinks or watering your plants. It feels like a recipe ripe for the robot. Eventually they're going to say, I'm watering the plants where you're sitting there reading a book. We're going to rise up. I don't know. I think the whole, do you make them too humanoid? I give them human, characteristics like a lot of us. So polymorphism, right? We're good at doing that. So I don't know. Seems like, seems like a recipe that could go wrong. But I like the idea anyways, having a robot to take care of everything in the house. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, we'll see. Claim that anyways, those will also be cheaper than a car. Sometime around $30,000 they'll be available, and no timelines for their production that I heard. So interesting event anyways, right? A lot of promises, a lot of showmanship going on. I mean, he's got prototypes of all three of those things. It definitely had vibes of, you notice he called it We Robot. The event definitely had vibes of iRobot. If you saw the movie, which came itself from an old Isaac Asimov story. So yeah, definitely, he definitely was channeling those overtones, which if you watch the movie, didn't really turn out that well for the robots. So interesting that, he sort of ignores that and sort of goes for the We Robot theme anyways. But you know what? It's Elon. Like he's never worried about convention. He just does his thing. And not surprisingly, the stock is dropping in the early morning here. So Tesla stock down. It was down about 6. Well, it's still down about 6%, which, who knows? Tesla is resilient. It loves these types of events. It could be that there's some buying behind it. It could also be the market is just going to continue being disappointed with the fact that there wasn't a lot of details they could bank on, right? So he did claim that they're being testing in Texas and one other state I can't remember by sometime next year. This is on the Cybercab, right? The robo-taxi thing. So, but no real promise as to when they'll be available for purchase, and California. Thank you. So it was Texas and California, and but didn't really sort of talk about mass production, advance orders, anything like that, which is I think the stuff that people want to see. So. Tesla's in play, right? There's no question. We're sitting at 8.5 million shares traded so far this morning, and I think it's only going to go up from there. Which direction the stock goes, don't make any guesses, right? Let the price action tell you, because it's in play, but it really is completely up in the air as to which way this thing goes and how the market reacts, how the big money decides to react to this thing. So. Sort of interesting, Elon's always good for interesting, even if it's awkward and, unclear, but it was interesting. The whole event, by the way, started like 45 minutes late or so. Apparently there was a medical emergency in the crowd. Unfortunately, this is like the fourth time I can think of where one of Elon's events has started late. So was it really a medical emergency? Did things go wrong? Did one of the robots run amok backstage? I don't know. I mean, it's there always seems to be an excuse for why the events start late. So, but I just find it fascinating, and it's amazing how it has such an impact on the market. So, there you go. There's a summary of the big event we've been waiting for. I said before that we were talking about the economic calendar, and we'd had the PPI, which I said didn't not too much impact. I'm watching the markets here as I'm talking, and it's as expected. It's sort of come right back down. We're sort of right back where we started. So that leaves us with the balance of what we've got on the gappers. So, Carlos, I've done a good whole spiel on that. Let's go see what's in the gappers.
Yep, absolutely, friends. Our gappers list this morning got a couple of things in the green and in the red. We'll start with the gapping up list today. Leading the way, low flow, 2.27 million shares flow. So low flow stock is AEHR, and that is up 12.8 this morning, 205,000. So it doesn't take a lot of volume to move these low flow stocks. I personally don't like this here, so I'm going to leave it alone. If I am going to even watch a low flow, even just for entertainment purposes, we want to see more volume, right? 200 and what is this? 205 is just not going to cut it. So we'll leave that one alone. Peter, not sure what the news is from last night, but I don't think we really care much about it. But is anything maybe important that we should consider?
They had earnings, better than expected earnings, but like you said, on the low floats, it's less impactful than on the larger companies. So.
Yeah, agreed. DJT's up next. This thing's been, I mean, it's just been cranking away. Yesterday, same thing here, had another nice day. As you can see, out of the gates, did trade very well. Went flat after 11 a.m. for the most part, but still gave you almost $3-4 moves once the thing popped up here after the market opened. This morning, we're up another 10%. So in the last couple of days, we've been gaining some pretty nice ground here. 5.1 million shares traded, as you see here in the pre-market. Peter, anything new out of DJT? Just seems to just be getting some traction here to the upside.
They did announce the release of Truth Plus, which is a streaming app for Android devices. So, if you're on an Android, I guess you can now get Truth Plus available at the Google Play Store. And, this stock will jump on any of the news. And then usually we see a day or two later as, it dropped back down again as people say, okay, well, now what, right? Like, great that they had launched it, but then probably I wouldn't expect to see adoption numbers or things like that coming out anytime soon. They've typically shied away from any of that type of usage data. So DJT, I mean, we keep looking for Carlos to be in play, right? Because it seems to move well pre-market, and then the market opens and it's sort of like, I don't know, it just doesn't do fun stuff, right? It doesn't give great trading opportunities, but hope springs eternal. All right, maybe one of these days we'll be able to trade this thing again. I keep thinking as we get closer to the election, it's you're just going to get more people with different opinions causing this thing to move in a way that we can trade. That's all I'm really hoping for. Tradable opportunities.
Yeah, I want to hopefully be sitting long. If he does win, I want to be sitting long on this thing because I'm sure that's going to be like the best outcome for DJT because it moves based on what Trump does, right? So obviously here is up 9.6. Again, normally doesn't trade like it did yesterday, but yesterday was clean. Yesterday was very, very nice. Got some volume, traded beautifully here after the open. But as Peter mentioned, this is not your typical intraday trading action on DJT. So makes me want to put it on my secondary list just to see if we're changing kind of the course of the way this thing opens up here. Volume is great this morning, 5.1. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking good right now. Let's see if that can continue. I mean, we would love to jump on some action in here if we can. So DJT will be on the list. Uber did not like what they saw yesterday from Tesla. So Uber is up here 5%. I'm sure there's something else going on. Uber's up 5%, 1.3 million shares traded right now. Peter, is there anything going on with Uber? They were mentioned last night in the event in regards to Elon made a comment of saying that Uber drivers can now manage a fleet. So
right.
I'm not sure what's going on.
They mentioned the drivers company, but yes, said Uber drivers, picture them managing a fleet of cyber taxis like a shepherd herding its flock. That was the quote that I thought was a little entertaining. So, okay, all right. Why not? He figures that they can all, I'm not sure where your average Uber driver is going to get enough money, even at 30 grand a pop, to buy 20 of these things. I'm not sure that as a billionaire, he might have lost touch with. Not everybody can get a hold of $600,000 plus worth of funding to put your fleet together. But anyways, it's I get the idea, and it could be good if it works. So we'll all see what happens. But it looks like both Lyft and Uber are getting a little bit of a push up this morning based on that. And I mean, look, it could be good for them, right? Because if there's more availability of vehicles, it really would help solidify, because it doesn't look like, at least Tesla's not announced any intent to get into the Drive app business. If they're happy to provide the infrastructure, right, the vehicles, that is actually only good for Uber and Lyft in the long run, because it would decrease the need or the push for individual vehicle ownership and more on this communal, ride share type system. So I mean, it could very well be a great thing for Uber and Lyft. Now, I don't know whether that's going to make them tradable today or anytime in the short term, but it will be interesting to see how this all plays out, and where the synergies come within these different industry segments.
Yeah, agree, man. Uber right now, 1.3 million shares traded. It is up 5.3. Speaking of Uber, obviously we talked about Tesla. It's on our gap down, leading the gap down list, actually, Tesla. But I'm going to add Tesla to our list. We'll add Uber as well, because this is just interesting. That is the news that's happening today based on yesterday. I'm going to add those two and see where that goes. Next on our gap up list is going to be at WFC, which is West Fargo. Typically, these banks don't trade very well, but today they're up 3.6, 688,000 shares traded. Peter, they never move unless they have some news. So what is the news with West Fargo today?
Yeah, we were watching, at least Jared was watching all of the banks as they were expected to do something interesting this week. The first two banks, because I think we've got another one there that's that had earnings anyways that we were looking at. JP Morgan. Sorry, I knew there was another one out there. Or the first two banks out of the gate with their earnings, and they both, similar story. They typically have, sort of same type of profile. They both beat on revenue, beat on bottom line. So, getting a little bit of a lift because their earnings were greater than forecasted, but less than analysts had actually hoped. I mean, their revenue has declined, but again, they were in line with forecasts. So, I don't know what to make of these things. Again, the analysts always expect more. Wells Fargo and JP Morgan did what they said they're going to do. In fact, they did a little bit better than that. There are some concerns long term with the rates. If the rates continue to drop, right, that could affect profitability for some of their business lines. But in the short term, it looks like, as usual, the banks are doing fine. You don't have to worry about them. They're okay. So so they're up this morning, and I think they may be in play. Carlos, I know which one you have. One that you like to watch. I always forget which.
Yeah, it's usually actually West Fargo is one of them. West Fargo is one of them, and JP Morgan. No, Bank of America to me is probably the worst one, man. They're the choppiest one out of the bunch. I think JP Morgan is probably the better one, and West Fargo is my secondary one. But yeah, Bank of America and Citigroup, I find those difficult to trade at times, right? So I'll go with JP Morgan and West Fargo for the most part. But just going through some of them, you can see there's some slightly up 1% on Citigroup. Bank of America, again, probably the one that gets the most volume, up 1.6 or slightly up. But West Fargo is looking good for me today as far as the volume. Again, do they trade well? Who knows? You got to wait for the market open. They're sitting on New York Stock Exchange. It's a hit or miss, right? But if I'm going to pick one of these, it's going to be West Fargo and JP Morgan. I'll throw those on the list for now, and we'll come back to them. We'll see how they look in a couple of minutes here.
And wait for the volume. Like you said, they're on the New York Stock Exchange. Wait for that volume, because it doesn't always happen right at 9:30. You got to be careful about that.
Yep, agreed. Let's take a look at Affirm. Affirm has been on our list a couple of times this week and last. Today up 3.1. Let's see how they've been trading. I've been keeping them off my list. Man, this is atrocious. This is garbage. So yesterday, just back and forth, nothing really happening between 70 cents there. And the day before that, when they gapped up, we had them on our list. Same thing here. We roll the truck on that. Roll the truck on this garbage here. I mean, it's just another garbage
Already
type
did,
situation.
but
And again,
I'll do it again.
you did roll it again. Roll it again. Roll it again. There you go. There it is. But double garbage. But again, it depends on your trade, right? If you're a range trader, you're taking a reversal from, I don't know what this is, maybe S3, S4, I don't know. That could be good. But for me, the way I trade, this is just not going to cut it. So I don't like it. We'll leave it alone.
They did have
MSTR.
an
Yeah, go
upgrade.
ahead, Peter.
We were talking about Wells
Mm-hmm.
Fargo a minute ago. They got an upgrade from Wells Fargo, actually putting them to an overweight category with a. While they're a little behind the times, they put them to a $52 target, and sorry, they raised it from $40 to $52. So I guess not. I guess that's above the price. I was looking at the wrong stock. I was looking at Wells Fargo. So yeah. So I mean that's good news for them. Like you said, Carlos, though, surprisingly hard to trade. Like that
Yeah.
price action you were showing, yeah, it was just virtually impossible and felt very dangerous. So I'm probably not going anywhere near a firm
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, I don't like it, man. Just brutal. Next on here, MSTR this morning. These guys are up 2.1, 466,000 shares traded. They've been bouncing on our gappers list here and there. And again, tough trading. Yesterday, I didn't put it on my list, but you can see here yesterday they did drop and just kind of went sideways. Another drop later in the day. So it's just strange trading out of this one. I tend to go with other tickers if this sector is going to be in play. So not a big fan of it with the way it moves. I'm going to keep it off my list, guys. But if you like it today, there could be some opportunities. Had a decent day yesterday as far as the daily goes, right? Had some nice movement here. We opened up at 191 all the way down to 177. That is a big move. And then right back up to 183. So the range is there. It's just, can you catch opportunities? If you look at this intraday, it's just a little bit messy here. Peter,
The
any news or this just
so
continuing from yesterday?
Well, it's sort of weird news a little bit. So the government the government, when they go through court cases and they make big arrests, they have a lot of seized goods, right? And they have auctions of seized goods. That's usually they confiscate cash and seized goods get auctioned off. Usually a seized good are things like luxury cars and houses and I don't know, gold chains. I don't know what the heck, like stuff that they can sell. But they've got a problem where they've got billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that have been seized. Drugs they typically don't auction off. I think they destroy those, or they're supposed to. Yachts, sure, yeah, yachts. There's another good one. But they've got all this Bitcoin, and they're sitting on somewhere around $4.3 billion worth of Bitcoin apparently. And it was interesting is yesterday. So MicroStrategy has had a strategy that part of they claim that they're creating a Bitcoin reserve because they believe that having a Bitcoin reserve is going to put them in a good position to be able to dole that out to the market and make money over time as Bitcoin increases, right? Well, there's an economist, anyways, who is not a huge Bitcoin fan, a guy named Peter Schiff. And he made a statement yesterday that he was sort of picking on the CEO or one of the founders of MicroStrategy, a guy named Michael Saylor, and said, you know what, you should buy all that government Bitcoin. In fact, you should borrow 4.3 billion of cash to go buy the Bitcoin because it would help with your reserve strategy. Basically, in economist terms, basically calling the guy an idiot and saying your strategy is dumb. Here's what you should do. So it's odd to have this sort of, I don't know, this it feels like one of these millionaire fights that they're having in public type thing. So what do we do with that? I don't know. I mean, it's the only news I'm seeing on MicroStrategy. Hey, look, just the mention could be enough to move the stock. So Michael Saylor might be saying, fine, pick on me all you want. If it moves my stock, I'm happy with it. Go for it, buddy. But anyways, I don't know if it's going to be in play. This is one that I have not watched, so I can't really tell you how it moves. But it's never grabbed my attention enough to trade it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. We'll leave it alone. Let's take a look on the gap down. But before we do that, Peter, anything you are watching this morning that might be on the gap up list so far?
We already hit them. I mean, it was really just the banks and Tesla were the only ones that I was watching on the gap up list. Tesla's, I guess, on the gap down list, but yeah, nothing else. There's a couple. I mean, we could talk semis, but they're all pretty much all gapping down, except for AMD. I guess once again, AMD gapping up pre-market marginally. It was actually up more earlier this morning, but remember, don't forget yesterday, because yesterday it was one of those where AMD was also gapping up, and then it looked like it was going to do okay until it didn't. And what a sell-off AMD had yesterday, just dropping sort of through the midday to end down on the day. And it was sort of a weird situation. So yeah, you can't count on AMD staying up just because it's gapping up. So and if you look at AMD's chart for yesterday compared to the other semis like Nvidia went the opposite direction. Nvidia had a great day. So we're seeing a little, once again, divergence, and AMD is continuing to drop here and lose altitude, while Nvidia holds close to its all-time high. So I like trading this sector because it's always moving, right? It's always sort of in play, and there's just opportunity every single day out there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They're always getting volume and seem to give us some movement here and there. All right, gap down list, guys. Tesla, we spoke plenty of already. I mean, it's on here. It is in play. It's on my list. Looks like it wants to break down lower from the pre-market lows today. But yeah, down 6.8, volume 10 million. We haven't seen Tesla with that type of volume in a long time. So definitely in play for us this morning. Let's go to the next one. VST. VST is down 6.3, 338,000. Didn't we see this yesterday? Maybe not. But it's on here, friends. I don't know what to think of this stock. Doesn't look all that great as far as volume on the daily. But I haven't watched it enough to know what this thing is about. So Peter, what's the news on this, if any?
There was this company I've never heard of, but BTIG. They gave an analyst upgrade on a couple of companies earlier this week we were talking about. But anyways, their prime AI analyst warns that there's going to be a sector correction in AI, and Vistra Corp (VST) is one of these AI plays, and I'm not sure why it's being hit more than others. Probably because it was mentioned in that BTIG analyst statement. They're saying that they expect a general industry correction. I don't know that that's news, to be honest. I mean, we've talked about this before, right? AI is just one of the latest sort of hot trends, and usually, the trends follow a pattern. Once everybody gets to the point of start to look for the actual revenue streams behind the hype, usually we hit a correction point. So it's been delayed for a while, right? AE's been really riding a sort of a crested wave, because I think there has been revenue for certain companies, right? When we say AI, we got to remember this is a multifaceted industry, right? There's AI, those that are selling the chips that are driving AI, they're absolutely benefiting, right? They can show the revenue. Obviously, this is Nvidia, AMD, and others. If you're at the utilization end, it's yet to be proven how exactly AI is going to drive your business efficiency or better results for your customers in a lot of cases, right? So you've got the midpoint companies that are actually doing the AI, the analytics and the assessment and the building of the code or the platforms that ride on. So the software that rides on the hardware, they have some revenue streams, but again, how sustainable is it based on what their customers in turn can leverage? So you got to remember, when everybody says it's an AI play, you got to think about which part of the industry and how likely is it for them to have a continuous growing revenue stream as a result of that. So anyways, Vistra getting taken down a little bit with the fear, I guess, that the AI industry is going to hit a corrective point.
All right, there you go. Not sure how tradable that stock is actually going to be, guys. If you like it, put it on your list. I'm gonna keep it off, but there is some news behind it. Today could be their day. Today could be the day where they actually trade better than usual, but I think even that's not good enough for what I'm looking for. TIGR this morning, 4.7 on the downside, 701,000 shares traded. This thing went up pretty good here. It's coming down just as fast, looks like. we do have shares for sure. I haven't really enjoyed this as much as maybe some other people have, but yeah, it's gapping down here again. Peter, don't know what to think about this one. I won't be watching it again. It's just there's certain stocks that I
No,
just don't like the way they move, and this is one of them.
I gave up on it, early last week when we were talking about it. So
There you go. SLTA. I think this is just someone just I don't know why they came up with this ticker so close to Tesla, but here it is. STLA. Is this in play or are people trading the wrong thing here this morning, Peter? What's going on?
well, I don't. I mean, it could be. It could be some confusion over Tesla because it's the right letters, wrong order. But Stellantis is a giant corporation in its own right. Right. This is a car company, owns a ton of brands. We did talk about them early in the week, where they've had a lot of problems. Right. Sales are down across a lot of their brands. They're really not hitting with their automotive development nor their sales, especially in the European markets. They are talking about having a executive shakeup. So, again, investors unhappy with the direction of the company are. The board has basically started to shake up the executive suite over there at Stellantis. So that's probably the primary reason behind the drop here, because that just creates. It's going to create a little bit of churn and confusion within the company, which means while in the long run it might help their results in the short term, they're probably going to have a couple more bad quarters as they sort of sort all of that out. So that's what's going on with STLA.
All right, there we go. Friends, let's take a look at the next one here is a couple of Chinese stickers making their way to the list. I think the all the rest are Chinese. Futu, Li, PDD, XBEF, JD, and NEO. I don't see Baba on here, but looks like Chinese stocks continue on their downtrend. They are gapping down here once again. So a little less volume, not as big as the couple of gaps ups we had before or the gaps down we had in the recent days here, but they are moving lower between down 3%, 3.6 starting with Futu, all the way down to about 2.1 with Neo. And I'm sure Baba probably also down 1.5, not making our list yet, but it's on here as well. So as usual with this whole entire sector, it's just the trend that we've been doing, right? We've just been going up here based on the stimulus packages out of China, a little bit of a pullback in the last couple of days. Pick your favorite on these things. The same news for the most part. So I don't see them great this morning though. Even Baba and PDD, which is the two I've been watching, they won't go on the main list, but I will put them on the secondary list because at any point here we might get a nice move, flush or pop, right? So who knows? We'll put them on the secondary list and we'll see where they go from there. Peter, as far as China goes, anything new or it's just continuing from the news we've been talking about probably for the last 2-3 weeks?
No, it's been actually pretty quiet on news. The Chinese government hasn't really said anything or released anything. I mean, I'm not sure what they could say. I don't think they have any good news to release. And typically, if there's no good news, they just stay quiet. So, which is, probably not a bad thing. What didn't Mama always say, right? If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So, yeah, nothing new out of that sector.
Yeah. So there it is. PDD and Bob on my secondary list again. They don't look great today, but they are gapping down. Let's see if the market open can provide us some good opportunities here. All right. That is the gap down list. Peter, as far as gap downs, do you have anything on your end that you like this morning?
I don't normally talk longer term plays, but one that might be worth keeping an eye on, just because I think it's going to move, is Disney. DIS, Disney. Disney has announced 2 days ago that they were increasing their ticket prices for the theme parks, which the shareholders normally like because that means more revenue at the gate. Obviously, people going don't like it. But this is also, at the same time where they had to close the parks, of course, Milton hitting, but Milton was not as severe as expected. So as far as I know, in Orlando wasn't heavily impacted and their park should be fine. So, and they're apparently reopening today. So, going right back to business. But Kramer did say that he's buying some Disney. So, the Kramer effect, maybe it is gapping down. When Kramer calls things a buy, they typically go the other way, at least in the short term. So that's recently been the impact. It just feels like, and of course, Disney's been in the news with their fight with the governor for last year or so. So not sure what's going to happen here with Disney. I thought it was interesting. There's so many little pieces of news on it that might be worth watching. Again, not for trading today necessarily, but over the longer term. The only other one that was on my radar that I was keeping an eye on here was I was looking at Meta because it was down earlier, but it looks like it's now. Where is it? It's not trading a lot of volume. In fact, very, very low volume. But it's moved up here in the early morning here, so it's just barely green, but not by much. But Meta had an interesting move yesterday. Yeah, if you look at the day yesterday, it had some sort of interesting moves, and the day before where it just sort of gapped down and dropped there. So it's been oddly in play in the last couple of days. Normally, Meta's not something I watch, but I was sort of interested in it, and in the chat room, I know a couple people were looking at it. So I don't know. I might take a closer look at that. Some of the ones that, like, of the Magnificent Seven, I don't really watch, Meta and Google. I'm just wondering if they're going to get I don't know, sort of a kick in just because of the Tesla event. I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting to me that their volume has sort of stayed low, and yet they're sitting, like, look at Meta. It's pretty much, I don't know, is this all time high for Meta? I didn't actually look back on the chart, but it's certainly at
we hit all time highs like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, like that 600
right, because
something.
I mean,
Yeah,
early in the
we did.
week, I think was it Monday that we hit that 600 and then, like, dropped, like, it hit 600 and went right below it. Hasn't been able to reclaim
Yeah.
that, but we're still in this range here. So, anyways, I'm waiting for. It feels like Meta should be doing something fun. It just hasn't quite happened yet. But the price action's somewhat interesting. So there you go. So those are the two that I was watching.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind on Meta, you don't know, right? Pre-market action, you can gauge the intraday by the pre-market, because look at this day here, it does nothing, and then market opens, you get beautiful volume and a nice drop. So it's on the Nasdaq, but it really trades on the pre-market like a nicey stock, right? Just no volume into the bell ring. So wait for the volume on this one. I like Meta. I like the daily. I think it's also has been trading pretty interesting. I'm going to put it on my list today as well. Let's take a look. Or you guys, starting here with our chat and also on YouTube, throw those tickers out. We'll take a look at what's happening here. Let's take a look at our friend here. Where is he? He put this out a long time ago. Terrence put out Lululemon. Let's take a look. Lululemon. Oh yeah. So he did mention no volume, but I don't really see it in play. Even the daily, I'm not seeing anything great on it for intraday plays, right? So this stock is very tough to trade. Volume for the most part is very light, unless they have news and they're really gapping, very aggressive. For the way I trade, I find them very difficult. Like this day here, they gap down. Look at the volume, 9.4. Like that is a great trading day. 260 all the way down to 247. That looks great. So when they gap up or down, they have some news, they can trade well, but you need this, which I'm not seeing right now. It's the volume, right? So be on the lookout. If volume comes in, great. If not, you're just going to be stuck with something like this, right? And again, depending on your style, this could be great. If not, there's something you just want to be cautious with. Daily does look interesting for a possible breakout if we can get going. We just need the volume to come in here. All right, let's take a look at another one here. PLTR by our good buddy Joel in chat. One of the chat favorite, I believe. PLTRs all over the place right now, pre-market wise. Daily, on the other hand, you have been getting some really nice clean days out of this thing. The last 3 trading days, this week actually had a really nice trading out of it. So if you've been watching it, you've been pretty good. Yesterday, not so much, but if you look at the day before, it traded amazing, right? So give you a great opportunity here, nice, beautiful breakout. And I think the day before that too, right? Yeah, day before that too, as well, opened up and it was very explosive. I mean, this is probably one of the cleanest PLTR charts I've seen in a long time when it comes to the intraday action. So today, not sure what you're going to get. It seems like it's getting a little bit extended, maybe a little chop, a little weakness coming in here. Who knows? I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm not going to add it to my list. But if you are, you can definitely put it on yours. I think it'll be interesting to see what today brings out of this one. It is Friday. Friday things tend to get a little bit choppier than usual, so just be aware of that. MSTR, yeah, we spoke about this one earlier. I'm not a fan. I tried trading this. It's just me and a MicroStrategy just don't get along. We don't have a good working relationship. So I'm gonna avoid them today. You could continue that relationship if it's treating you well, but just be aware of that. All right, let's see what else. Tesla, we spoke about plenty. So Tesla is on here, guys. I mean, we love Tesla today. There's no question. This is going to be my favorite one to watch today with the news and just the overall volume, guys, down 10% after the big event. If you missed it, Peter gave a nice recap. You can always go back and look at it on YouTube on the event yesterday, which started an hour late, almost an hour late. It was insane. What else we have here, friends? So that is Tesla, Nvidia. We briefly touched on Nvidia and AMD. I don't have Nvidia on my list yet, but I mean, how can you not watch AMD? I mean, Nvidia every day. You know, you just never know what you're going to get out of this. They've been fairly strong on the daily. They continue to break higher and higher. We're not at all-time highs yet. All-time highs is sitting over here at 140. So again, we just have to see. I keep it on the list. I watch it. This is more of a possible today, but I have the space to put it up on my main list for the most part. But it's more of a possible the way the volume looks this morning. All right, Uber. Yes, I have Uber. I did put Uber on my list. Uber looks great today. They're up 5.3. Let's see if they can hold that. Uber at the market open is known to be extremely choppy. I hope today is not the case. We got great volume. We got a nice gap up. Some good news for them. Hopefully in the future. Looks like investors like it at the moment. Popping this thing up. So let's see where it goes. I do like Uber here. The way the pre-market is setting up right now. One more, Dan the man. JD's been on my list all week. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, pick your favorite out of the Chinese tickers. Absolutely. JD, PDD. I mean, they're all on here. Futu, Lee, XBEV, Neo. I highly doubt anybody has Neo as their favorite, but pick the one that tickles your pickle. Can we say that? We can say that, right? Nobody's gonna offend it. Yeah. I just
Wow,
never know.
It's too late. It's out there.
You just never know. There it is. It's in there, in the books. But yeah, there it is, man. Pick your favorite, and you're good to go. Dan the man. Yes, let's look at that one. Dan the man 92. INTC. INTC. If you have complaints, email Peter at bearwithtraders.com. Do not email Carlos at bearwithtraders.com. You will not get a response. All right. INTC. No, I don't see it in play, really, to be honest. I don't see no volume on it. Again, unless they have some major news, which they did a while back. They had this nice gap up, gave you a couple of days after that. But since then, we haven't really seen anything out of INTC. So not going to be on my list. All right, friends, let's head over to our community events and announcements, see what's happening. No, I'm sorry, our moderators list. Wait, did we do our community events and announcement, Peter, yet? We haven't.
We did not. We're behind.
We have not. Oh, wow. I just saw the time.
We haven't done our level. We haven't. All that comes before we talk about our moderators list. So.
Okay. Yes, I just noticed the time. Holy smokes. Okay, let's do this. Let's go straight to our moderators list, and we'll give you guys what's happening. We're going to be on live, so we'll give you guys what's happening for the next 2 weeks a little bit later. Let's go to the moderators list, and we'll get ready who's trading live this morning.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we'll jump right to it then. I'm not sure if we got our graphics ready, but it's okay. I can talk to it. Lenny is going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia. Probably everybody's going to be watching Tesla today. How could you not, right? But anyways, Tesla, Nvidia, Uber, American Airlines, WFC, and Bank of America. Jared's going to be watching a couple of the banks, right? The two that had earnings, JPM and Wells Fargo. He's also going to be watching Uber and Tesla. Fair that he's sort of linking those because I think they are linked today. And then Nvidia on his secondary. Avi's going to be watching Tesla, Meta, and Amazon. Thor's going to be watching CVS, not one we talked about. DJT, NVIDIA, and then, of course, his futures with the SPY and the Qs. We've got Brendan, who's going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, DJT, and Tesla, of course. And Pierre's going to, the one guy who's not watching Tesla, is going to be watching AMD, NVIDIA, Apple, DJT, and Bubba. Paris comes in with his list watching Tesla, NVIDIA, JP Morgan, Uber, and PLTR. And I haven't posted my list yet, but I'm going to be watching the usuals in AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA. And I'll keep an eye on Uber and Wells Fargo as well. So that's what I've got on my list for this morning. We did have a couple of IPOs yesterday that came out. Nothing interesting, nothing that actually ended up moving. I've got a whole bunch more today that I've got to get in here. I'll let you know if any of these open. I've got about 8 that are supposed to be opening today. Again, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but I will let you know as usual if and when these things open. We haven't had a tradable IPO in quite a while, unfortunately. So that's our list. Carlos, what you're changing up the schedule here. What do you want to go to next?
Well, I don't know if Brian and who's trading with him this morning. Is it Thor?
Lenny's coming on.
Lenny.
No, Lenny, I think. Lenny's going to be trading with him.
Oh, nice. All right, so we could do this. While we wait for them to get up and get going here, we can go to our announcements, but then when they're ready to go, we'll cut to them. We'll do that. So we give an idea of people what's happening for the next 2 weeks here. But once they're ready, we don't want to cut their preparation time too short to kind of get you guys ready for the market open. Once they're ready to go, we'll switch to them.
Sounds good. All right. So, good morning. Let me tell you what's going to be happening. First off, on Mondays, we always have our onboarding classes. We've got 2 for you. We've got the DAS Trader Pro setup that happens at noon, and then the onboarding for new members at 8. If you're a new member looking to join, now's a great time, right? Do it in advance of the weekend. Then you'll have all next week to sort of take advantage of the chat room, and you can start with the onboarding class that happens Monday night at 8. Tuesday is strategy, and Paris is going to be leading our strategy session next Tuesday, the 22nd. Sorry, I'm a little confused here. But anyways, looks like he's going to be focusing on the master tape reading, how to unlock order flow analysis. And then obviously it's not a Tuesday session if it goes the day after on the 23rd. So we're going to have to figure out what the heck's going on with that. I feel like I'm missing a week in here too. So it looks like we need to get our website updated. Something's gone wrong again because next week would be the 15th and the 22nd is the week after. So we'll let you know exactly what's happening. I do know on Wednesday, because we've been talking about it for a while, that on Wednesday we've got our psychology session. Mike is leading that with how to set up a trading support network for traders as part of your trading mindset. It's very helpful. So that'll be what's happening Wednesday. As I said, we'll go back and confirm what will be next Tuesday. Also on Wednesdays, though, we have our Bookmap webinar, something new that we've added that Nathan does in the webinar room to help people understand how to leverage Bookmap and take advantage of it in their trading. Thursdays, we do our mentorship sessions. We have a whole bunch of them, 4 of them, in fact, that you can take advantage of. We did them all yesterday. We'll do them again next week, starting with John at 11, going to options with Jared and Megan at 2 p.m. Then we talk equities with Lenny at 4. And, of course, Thor's back for his ever-popular session at 8 p.m. That's what we've got coming up next week, again, with confirmation of what's happening Tuesday. And we're 10 minutes to the market open. We got a little bit of time. So I can tell you that we've always got our membership options for you. So hopefully you take a look. Just go to our website, bearabletraders.com. You can see all these options. You can take advantage of any one of them at any time, including the $1 offer. If you haven't done it, now's a good time. Just $1. You get a whole week. bearabletraders.com/YouTube. Do it. Give us a thumbs up. Love it. All right. Let's talk trading. I heard Lenny's voice out there. You're already here, Lenny? Thought I heard him.
Yep,
yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Awesome.
There he is.
So let's go. I'm gonna share my screen. Just go ahead, Peter.
You know, you jumped on with that striped shirt. I know you've heard this before. I immediately thought, "Where's Waldo?" So welcome.
Well, I couldn't get what did you say?
Crowd. You made me think of Where's Waldo? You know those Waldo books?
Yeah, of course. Those.
You got that look.
Sure, yeah. You found me. But okay.
I'm glad you could join us for trading though this morning. It's good having you here. So I know that Brian's going to be joining a little bit later. So his usual time. And what are you? Anything that you absolutely love this morning? I know we had your list, and you're actually in pretty early with the list. I thought it was interesting that you were looking at American Airlines. What do you see there that you like?
No, I'm not looking at American Airlines. I'm looking at AA, Alcoa Corporation.
What is that? Is that Alcoa? I'm sorry, I thought that was. You're right. Yeah. AAL is American Airlines.
Yeah, indeed. It's like AA, like a nice
Alcoa, yeah.
nice gap up
My
from a
bad.
range. Actually, in the chat room, I'll be sharing my screen so you guys can see my screen. Yes, so I think AA looks pretty good. Like it gapped up, slightly elevated volume, not too much. Pre-market looking very directional. So I think could be interesting. Could be potentially doing something. It's a very tricky, good trade. Very tricky. Not always there's a lot of volume. Usually it's a little bit choppy. But we could have it on a watch list, as you can see my watch list here on my screen. A lot of potentials, and then we narrow down and we're looking for a very beautiful setup. Sometimes there's something directly after 1 minute, sometimes only after 30 minutes, but usually something sooner or later will pop up. We just need to be very patient. Hey, I see Brian also arrived. Welcome,
Yes,
Brian.
good morning, everybody. And how's everyone? How
All
are
right,
you
I'm
doing?
going to leave you guys to it. Trade smart,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a great
Thanks.
Friday.
Have a great
Thank you, Peter.
Friday.
I guess we already lost Carlos. What was he doing? What was he
Yes.
doing? Something about pickles.
Pickleball.
Missed that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think there are a few interesting.
interesting. As in a pickle. Yeah, exactly. He's in a pickle for sure. So is Tesla this morning. It's pretty much what I predicted. Talked about Elon at these things seems to always come up a little bit short, but we'll see where Tesla goes. It's already sold off quite a bit. I guess I was looking at some of the delivery numbers. They're still quite a ways out there. And he's been promising this robo-taxi since 2016, and it was 2020, and now it's I think it was 25 or 27. I can't remember what it was. The deliveries of these things. So anyway, I didn't.
It's also interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Uber.
going to sell the news yet before 2027. Thanks, Cindy. I knew it was one of those numbers.
It's also interesting that Uber is gapping up and Lyft as well, based on the Tesla news.
Yeah.
So the Tesla
Yeah.
robotaxi news and the Uber and Lyft gapping up.
Uber's looking a little bit weak here.
A little bit weak. Yeah. There was this level 82.14. It was the previous all-time high from early March. $82.14. I thought like maybe if it holds above, it could be a strong sign in the pre-market, but now indeed it fell below it. Now it's also trading below VWAP. So I think we're just gonna read the price action. 2 million shares traded in Uber, so that's quite some. We're gonna enjoy it. Lyft looks a little bit stronger than Uber. Did you see Lyft already, Brian?
No, I haven't seen Lyft. Let me take a look here. Lyft. Yeah, it's up 3.8%.
Yeah. There was some interesting earnings today. The banks, some of the banks reported earnings. JP Morgan, WFC.
Yeah, JP Morgan, WFC. We'll see where these go. I've kind of got WFC on my secondary list. We'll see what it does. It seems to be hanging in there. The Qs are selling off. Looks like they're selling off a little bit this morning, and we'll see where that goes. Let's take a look. I'm sharing my screen here with Bookmap, so you can see Tesla. Not a lot of orders in here right now. It's kind of empty. Here's some order at 221. There's an order up here at 224. So we're kind of sitting mid-range on the price. No clear indication yet where it might be going. We'll get, all these areas will fill in as soon as the market opens. AMD is gapping up a bit. and
Yeah,
Nvidia's
so
gapping
after the big
down.
sell-off of yesterday, I think AMD sold off very hard yesterday, and now it's like gapping up a little bit. That could be interesting, perhaps a small bounce or perhaps continued weakness. Could be interesting to see what AMD will do today.
Hmm.
And it's a very interesting level at Nvidia at 135, exactly $135. In the pre-market bounced off it like 6-7 times, but yesterday as well. Also yesterday bounced up 6 times, exactly from the 135 level. I think it's a very, very strong level. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Did you look at some of the other earnings today, Brian? Fast or
No. Uber kind of looks
Yes.
interesting. Somebody's holding this bid at 81. We'll see if it sticks. They pulled this order at 80.60. So we'll see what happens with Uber. It's way outside its value range. Tesla's still dropping a bit here.
Yes. Oh, that's a big drop.
Yeah, see
The last two
if
minutes.
there's some levels. I mean, I know Carlos probably did some levels, but it looks like 225 could have been an important level of support. We're below that. Looks like another area here, but 205.
Yeah, it's definitely running extended into the market open. Just dropped $2 in the last $2 in the last 2 minutes. Dropped $5-6 in the last 60 minutes.
AMD just went red.
Q's also selling off.
AMD can be a little erratic at the open, but to let things maybe settle out a bit. Oh, there goes Uber. Uber's popping back up, back above the VWAP. Okay, we got 10 seconds to the open. Good luck. Good luck, everybody. Qs are selling
responsible.
off. Here we go. Oh, look at Uber ripping.
Tesla sold off further.
Yeah, Tesla's really selling off. Wow.
So we have Lyft also ripping. Where's the
Uber's up. Here's a bounce back on Tesla. Yeah, Uber really ripped and dropped. Here's a big order at 83 for Uber. Still no trades for me yet.
Bank of America also opened very strong.
Okay, I'm long Uber for this move to 83. Let's see if we can get there.
Just went long Bank of America.
Just sold some 83. There we go. That was a nice little pop there. See if we can get a little higher now. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here we go. Selling some more. 83.25. Ooh, Tesla's still dropping.
Tesla first kind of weak. But yeah, it looks definitely weak for sure, but So let's wait a bit. Many things happen, different fronts.
Wow. WFC is popping here.
Partialing Bank of America more. I took Bank of America for the 1 minute ORB.
Nice.
So letting the rest run. I think Bank of America was very nice because at the 1 minute ORB and closed. Close was also a retest of the pre-market high. In the second minute, did not make a pullback, but also stayed above the pre-market high. And then combined with all the other strength factors, it was a nice.
He's selling some more 83.20. I'm selling some more Uber. I'm kind of feeling like that might be. I don't know if it's going to go more or not. So I'm really reducing my position here.
Uber looks very interesting.
Look
right?
at Wells Fargo. The banks are ripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Look at that drop on Uber. Okay, I'm out of the rest of it. It's back in my break even. This might come down to the View app and bounce back, but I just don't like the way it's trading. Like I said, it
Two big
looked
wicks
kind
in
of
Uber as
toggy
well.
there.
Indeed. I also think Uber could be a little bit tricky.
So Uber's coming to the View app. Maybe let's see if it bounces here. I'm still watching it. I don't have a position in it now.
I think the issue with Uber is also if you look at the intraday candles, they're relative larger size compared with the pre-market candles.
I know.
Sometimes that could damage a little bit the risk to reward.
Yes.
For example, in Bank of America, you see like the first 1 minute candle. There are like some pre-market candles with like more or less the same size. So I'm now getting out of my last part of Bank of America. So So what about Tesla? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Tesla's still struggling. It's at 215 now.
Yes. I feel it's a little bit extended to take it short, right? See also the wicks from the bottom, the late pre-market sell-off already.
Yeah, it's too extended for a short.
Yeah, I think so as well. Just we can see what will happen, how the price actually will develop. Nvidia is just very choppy since the market opened. So Nvidia is today not a great trader.
No.
Not at all. AMD showing continued weakness today. AMD made a 5-minute opening range and then it broke down, which was also coincided with the pre-market low and with the previous day close. But it still might be a little bit speculative to trade it short.
Uber is trying to decide which direction to go. Maybe just
you got that level over there. 82.14 is like the previous all-time high. So it's running straight through the pre-market price action and
profit takers versus new money.
Yeah.
It's just stuck at the View app right now. Tesla's bouncing back here.
Well, look at Bank of America. There might be another move up. Even though it's also a little bit tricky now. It's of course very extended. I would not get in now. But if If you look at the last candle, it looks pretty strong. This candle also holding, so I think it will go now move up further. But it's, I think, too extended to get in. So what do you think of Uber now?
Just choppy. It might have some upside. Just looking at WFC now, I think it's going to pull back. Maybe to the VWAP.
Yeah. UFC looks a little bit tough, right? Some wicks on the bottom side, top on the bottom side. Bank of America looks way more clean. It's moving further now.
Yeah, WFC was right up at R4 on the daily. So a bit of a short on it. Here we go. It's going to cover some. Ooh, nice drop there. Oh, yes. WFC.
Nice.
Just covering 60-30.
Nice one. Drop below VWAP now.
Yeah, below VWAP.
In the pre-market range again.
Now we're cooking. Let's cover some. I just covered some more there.
So what about Uber? Look at it. It's now making perhaps, it's not my style of trading, but it looks like a continuation setup.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be challenged at this level right here.
So there was like the initial sell-off, right? Initial selling pressure. Minute 2, minute 3. Just the pre-market high.
See what WFC does here. Okay, it's come back to the VWAP.
I see a lot of relative high R vols everywhere. Where can we find the trend? Many people also looking at DJT again today, but it's been very choppy after the open. DJT, yes.
DJT? Okay.
Trump.
Yeah.
Trump. Company. Yeah. AFIRM also going up with, I think, with the bank earnings.
WFC still, again, it's kind of chopping around the VWAP here.
Yes.
It's kind of turned into a bit of a dog's breakfast as well.
Yeah, like a lot of overlap, right? There's not really clean trend in it. Moving more or less sideways the last 4 minutes.
You can see here what AMD looks like. It's chopping up and down. Let's see what Nvidia looks like probably going to look like the same. Yeah, pretty ugly.
Uber might be something. Uber might be something
Yeah.
now. Closing above the pre-market high, but it's not perfect. I think could be more clean.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of WFC. I think it's. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. So I'm kind of watching. I'm watching TD Bank. I had some bad news yesterday about their settlement with on their money laundering activities. And,
Now to make 5-minute ORB, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking at some point it's going to get oversold. Might be a Monday trade.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just made a 5-minute opening range breakdown, and it's now at yesterday low.
What's that?
But yeah, in TD.
Which stock are you talking about? TD, yeah.
The stock that you TD.
Yeah. Should be some
Toronto,
support around here.
Yeah. I also would not trade it short.
No, it's ready. Yeah, it's ready yesterday's low. I was thinking more of it as a swing trade. Okay, Uber's continuing to move up here. Nvidia is trying to make a move. Tesla actually did find some buyers. And we're at the VWAP now.
Yeah, Tesla made the reversal around like 934, 935. Definitely was a little bit oversold there.
You're really sold down. Look at 215 was an area where it really bounced from.
Then it dropped $8 in the 10 minutes before. So that's really like a big drop in Tesla.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing this with options, but the premiums were really high on it. Because I could have done like some type of a vertical on both sides, I suppose, but just never got around to doing it. 220. Wow.
Uber grinding up further.
Dramatic. It's trading right at the VWAP.
Yeah. I think what's very interesting about Uber today, like the first 4 or 5 minutes were very big size candles, like very erratic, like big wicks. And then you see the candles becoming smaller, right? Low volatility candles. It's becoming more stable. Then we see also like the grind up. And then to the point, like we're getting our close above the pre-market high. But still, like, I think it's like, for me, it was not clean enough to take it. I feel like too much overlap. Trend was not clean enough. Plus, there was a selling pressure indeed, like in minute 2 and minute 3. But there were definitely some signs of strength. So where are you looking at right now, Brian? What could be interesting?
I'm looking at Tesla as a short, but it's.
So it just bounced away from the pre-market low, right? And from basically
just rejected that VWAP.
Yes. Also the VWAP area, pre-market low, rejecting there.
Q's. This looks like the SPY is breaking out here. The buying brigade, the buying brigade didn't wait very long this morning. They didn't bother waiting till about 10 o'clock. They just started buying right away.
Yeah. Sometimes the last couple of days you saw like a little pullback in the SPY, and then straight away like the avalanche of buyers came in. But now straight away, it's just the market is positive ahead of the elections. So Bank of America, it's like it's holding still. So it made like the initial move up, and now it's holding there. It's pretty interesting. It's like no big pullback in Bank of America yet. It was like this pullback at 938, but that one got straight away bought up again. So could go for another move, even though I would not take it.
Yeah, PLTR is on another tear, breaking yesterday's high. This thing is so overvalued, but
You don't like it so much, PLT?
it's just the price to earnings is just out of this world. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to keep going higher. As I said before, the CEO's great storyteller. Wow, look at Tesla. Tesla's going to move up here. We're right at
Look at Uber.
220 area, pretty critical.
Look at Uber, just broke the high today.
Yep.
Yeah. Sure, some people made some money in Uber today. Went up.
Wow. Just, too late to get into Tesla long. Snow seems to be breaking out too. Yeah, new all-time high for Uber. Uber's up like almost $6 now.
Yeah.
Brian,
Yes.
Lenny, if you can do me a favor.
Yes.
And ask for some likes. We got over 700 people here watching you guys trade live.
Oh.
I think it's worth a few likes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it should be.
Yes, people.
Come on. Ooh.
I think we have been
We're making
sharing
money
with
for
joy.
you.
We have been having fun together, right? Reading the price action.
Yeah. It's
Reading
Friday.
the markets.
Be
discussing
generous.
it. Friday. Be generous.
Give us
give us all a
some
like.
free likes. Yeah. If you're not trading and just watching, just entertainment value. Crowd's up quite a bit. Down a bit today.
Oh, look at Bank of America. Moves up further.
Baba came right back up, touching previous day close. Uber's still going. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uber's got some orders. It's still got that order sitting here at 85. Big order at 85 there. It's got to get through this big, this even bigger order at 84.
Yep.
SPY has literally broken out.
All time high, right? SPY not yet. No, not yet.
Not yesterday.
No, no, no.
Yesterday's high, I think, was another high.
Close to all-time high. Bulls are in
Another
charge.
Uber today.
I love that candle Uber so much. Like the candle at 9:41. Such a strong, like it came down, closed above the previous candle, above pre-market high.
Uber still has buyers here. You can just see them coming in.
Oh, the banks are also rocking. At least Bank of America, JP Morgan. Oof, JP Morgan could be a long now.
So Uber managed to get through 84. There's 84 print. There's that big order at 85 still. Got to get through this sort of wall here at 84. Just chomping away.
Yep.
Chomping away at it. Here we go.
Just went a bit long in JP Morgan.
Yeah, WFC is popping. Up again, back at high of day. SPY is going back to yesterday's high. Tesla's now just stuck in a range right now.
Also, some of the earnings disappoint a little bit. I had like a stocks relative low volume, AEHR, but therefore you have to be really careful. Just a lot of chop.
Tesla's got a whole lot of orders to the downside. I'm short Tesla.
Good luck, nice. Also, Nvidia closed at end 135 level. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen at Nvidia now. It's like it made like a continuation setup pattern. It has been such a strong level 135. So who's gonna win there? Is the question.
Okay. I'm playing Tesla with puts, some options trades just to get a better bang for the buck.
Look at the big order on Tesla at 135, 9,000 lots.
So I'm trading the ones that expire today, the 217.50s. Just gonna sell some here, 255. See if we get into these orders, these downside orders. There we go.
Very nice. The trend seemed to have started in the last couple of minutes in Tesla, right? Big
Yeah.
candles.
I like the look of the order book too. It's really got a lot of downside. Here we go. Just going to sell some more here at 280. Woo wee! Come on, give us some likes for that. Come on,
That deserves some
worth a
likes for
like.
sure. I also took some partial in JP Morgan. I reached my first target in JP Morgan. I entered at 953.
Oh, all right. Look at that. There's the value in Bookmap right there. Just being able to see all these downside orders and no order, very little orders above. So you could tell the institutions are putting in their levels to buy, or we're definitely anticipating lower prices. Here we go. Here we go. Selling some more at $3 there. Anybody? So who in the room took that Nvidia trade or Tesla trade, I should say? Nice, Cindy. All right, we got a few people. Awesome. Yeah, you can play this with TS. Tesla's got those ETFs, long and short. Bit of a bounce off this. I'll have to stop out if we get back to the view app here. A nice little flush there on Tesla. We really came down to low of the day there. So that's kind of why we bounced here.
Nvidia, by the way, rejects again the 135 level, becoming an epic level now.
Nvidia's just literally hanging around yesterday's close. All right, I'm gonna have to get out of the rest of these. Yep. Only had a few options left. Got that nice flush.
So JP Morgan also keeps on rocking.
Tesla's going to reject. Oh, AMD's rolling over a bit here. It's going to go red again. Yeah, Tesla's going to be kind of jerky, I think, definitely. You've got people that are probably the diehards are going to be jumping in here and buying it. Look at that. Look at that rejection from the view app. Wow.
Also interesting, like the last candle on the 1 minute chart on Tesla has like lower volume than that previous candle. So the candle becomes smaller, low volume, and rejecting again. That's also like indeed like a sign for a continuation setup to the short side, potentially.
And it's coming down. It's going to fill this 217 order now. Just stop me out of the rest of my options, but I didn't have a lot left, so. Yeah, it might be stuck here in this range for a little while, and then we'll maybe going to break low of day here. But I can't say for sure one way or another. Yeah, Uber really rejected at 84. This is a sort of a classic case of spending too much time at one level and then just, buyers expecting higher prices just kind of give up. Yeah, there's definitely some buyers here at 217.50 on Tesla trying to support it. CBD is actually green, which means there's more buying than selling on Tesla.
yes. There's actually a strong candle in Uber now, where like the last candle it closed at the high, made a failed breakdown, closed at the high volume. That's now a strong signal in Uber, but I would like to see a little bit more confirmation. I think it would be too early to already take it now. JP Morgan now making a quadruple top. That's like a first sign of potential weakness.
Yeah. Yeah,
Taking a
WFC,
little
sort of same thing, kind of a double top here.
223.
Hmm.
No worries. Bulls might be in charge. Like it ain't no thing or not. No, okay. One more partial in JPM. Okay. $221. Okie doke. So Nvidia very choppy today, just moving sideways.
Yeah, Nvidia's not doing much. Even Tesla is getting sort of into a choppy range here. Same with AMD. The Qs are really choppy. Look at it. We're back at 84 on Uber.
We were back to all
After
time,
that
back
pullback.
to the high today. Yeah. This was not a boring Friday, that's for sure.
No, no, a bit of entertainment. Yeah, as we get into earnings season, there'll be lots more volatility in the market, lots of opportunities to find stocks that are on the move. Just looking at Uber, it's got that big order stacked at 84. And then another one up at 85. It actually might eventually go there today.
You know, it also was an interesting detail on Uber today that I missed in the moment. You see, like that bounce or that bottom at 959, 10, 1001, that was
Yeah,
directly above the opening range. So it was basically like a retest of the opening range, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
high of
yeah.
this
It was a retest.
minute tree.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it looks like it wants to go higher. Can kind of hard to chase it up here because this is the area where it really it failed before. And it's definitely going.
I think JP
So
Morgan will
it
also
just
break out further.
ate through that order at 84 on volume.
Hoppa, break, jump into all-time high, head first. Just like SPY, look at the SPY.
Wow, holy crap. The SPY just ripped another high.
Bulls are in charge. Champagne. We're gonna pop some champagne.
Yeah,
Spy all-time high.
champagne and cocaine, as Prof G likes to say.
Well,
Lenny, I know yesterday you were
yes.
supposed to do a presentation at 10:30, and we switched things around.
I'm
Were
doing
you
it
planning
today.
to talk today at 10:30 as
Yes.
well?
Yes. Yes, that's true. So I might be leaving this session in 50 minutes from now, like 5 minutes before 10:30. Then I'll be
Sure.
back 10:30 and I'll do the presentation.
Awesome.
Do you have to leave?
Eamon's looking at Apple. Apple does seem to be finding a bit of a bottom here. Yeah, I do think Uber's going to go to 85, I think, at some point. Just going to have to be patient.
Yeah. So the market likes the robot taxi for Uber because the assumption is that
Apparently,
this
yeah.
robot taxi is the catalyst for Uber. Interesting. I guess that robot taxi might open like a whole new dimension for taxis, not for human taxi drivers, but for taxis and for software in taxis.
I view it as a good thing because by the time I get to the point where the government's not going to let me drive anymore, I won't have to worry about it. Yeah, grandpa behind the wheel. Oh, no worries. I don't have to drive anymore.
Oh.
All right, here we go. We're pushing to 85 on the Oobs, on Uber.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? There is a huge 235 order or open interest on Apple that's expiring on the 18th. 235. Take a look at the weeklies here. Still a pretty big open interest at 235. Big open interest at 230 as well on Apple.
Yeah. Bank of America is also the big winner today, even though from the financial they did not have the earnings. WFC and JPM, they had both the earnings, Wells Fargo and JP Morgan, but Bank of America That was the one that exploded today,
Yeah.
at least intraday. Actually, when the other also more or less all the same, more or less all 5% up.
Hmm.
Amazon has also like some kind of a robot taxi, right? Autonomous taxi. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
thinking,
they have like a robo-taxi initiative as well. Yes.
so I don't know, perhaps we could have expected like some more volatility in Amazon today, but
Wow.
there was not really
Nvidia
a
breaking out.
market response. It was really, it broke through the 135. Oh, no, yes. Oh, wow. It smashed through the 135. Look at that volume candle when it broke to the 135.
Oh
3.8
yeah,
million shares
yeah,
traded.
massive, massive. Look at this. Look at the market rip. It wasn't. I don't think there was any other data. Well, 10 o'clock there was consumer sentiment. I think maybe that was a consumer sentiment number at 10. Market didn't really react till for about 2 or 3 minutes after that. So I don't know if that was it or not. Wow, there goes Apple's popping here. Nice call by Eamon. Okay, I think that was earlier in the day, though. Wow, Tesla's back at high of day.
Yeah, Tesla breaking out. Also notice it.
Yeah.
Might, might also be helped by this ripping market, the ripping spy.
A lot of option orders on a lot of put option orders on Tesla at 230. 26,000 open interest. There's a lot more at 220, 29,000. I don't think we're going to get there. But this 230 level could be an area. On 10. Well, 220, no, 220 actually looks pretty realistic. These puts for Tesla. Yeah, this has to be an all time high for the SPY. Yeah.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the champagne.
Yep. What about the Qs? Qs are really starting to. They're getting there. Got another point on the QQQs, another 10 points. But the Qs have been lagging the Dow and the SPY, so making up some ground there. And IWM still a ways from all-time high. Wow, Apple just rolled over there. All right, I've got no positions right now. Oh, crowd went green. That's how I'm happy about that. Still got a swing trade there. Because if you
Nice.
you want to check out my, I'll be putting out a video on the weekend as I usually do, swing trade video. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. Just search my name, Brian Pezim. Talk about what happened during the week, how we ended the week, and look ahead and get some ideas for some swing trades like CRWD. I took that one. That was on my watch list for the coming week. I'm in a position in it now.
To check it every week. The weekly review of Brian. It's really good. It gives like a nice start of the week. Like that gives also like some kind of a confidence. Like if you know that you're up to date with what happened last week and what's on the schedule for this week, it gives a little bit more confidence when trading.
We talk about what events we've got coming up this week, like CPI and PPI data was this week. Next week we're going to be getting into earnings, so cover off some of the earnings that are the notable earnings that are next week, which are. Do a quick check on what's coming up next week. Trading Terminals got good calendar for that.
Yeah, so PPI was today, right? PPI data.
Yeah, PPI was today. It actually came in lighter than expected.
It doesn't matter anyway for the
Yeah, it
market,
was.
right? Like lower
I think
inflation, high inflation.
Yeah, it was basically zero. I think people were expecting sort of a 0.1 increase, and it was basically zero. Wow, Qs and SPY are ripping. Still going high. So we got Bank of America on Tuesday, UNH, Morgan Stanley on Wednesday, UBS, USB, I should say. More banks. And then Thursday we got Netflix. Be interesting.
Yeah.
Taiwan Semi on Thursday morning.
Well, it's about to start again. The earnings season.
Man, did we ever rip? We took NASDAQ, the QQQs, started out in the red, and now we're just on fire. So market's still expecting, the option's still expecting a rate cut next Fed meeting, which is 27 days away. 84%. One week ago, it was 97. So maybe a little bit of softening there, and still 16% sticking with the Fed not making a move at all.
Yeah. So Brian, I'm gonna hop off, and then I'll be back in 5-6 minutes. Okay, for the 10:30
Okay,
YouTube presentation.
sounds good. Yep.
Right. It was a pleasure trading with you.
Yeah, great.
always,
Lenny, good to see you again. How's the weather in Colombia? As usual, nice?
It's good. Yeah, it was great.
All right. All right.
It was
Good.
great.
All right. Thanks very much. And yeah, everyone, look forward to getting some more great information from Lenny when he comes back on.
Awesome.
Cheers. All right. Hope everyone had a good morning. We had some pretty decent trades. Not feeling inclined to trade anything else. If I just keep trading randomly, I'm just going to give money back to Mr. Market, which I don't want to do. So Uber seems to be kind of stuck here under this big wall at $85 right now. I wouldn't short it, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Nvidia is sort of same thing. Wells Fargo is still at high of day. SPY and Q is at high of day. Crazy how we market just took off here. I did take a bit of a starter position on TD, so this isn't a day trade. It's a swing trade. I might even think of this as a position trade. I might just we'll see where it goes, but it's really sold off, so I'm going to be maybe just holding that in one of my longer term accounts, maybe retirement accounts. I usually like to wait 3 days. We usually kind of have a 3-day rule on stocks that really get either beat up or spike up, but seems like I said, it's start out with a small position and maybe build on it. Snow is popping up here, 126 maybe. Kind of too late to get in to chase that up there, but it's had a nice run daily. Snow has a gap to fill here at just over 130, 132. I should say maybe 131, the low. Wow, queues are spine queues, just pumping it today. Holy cow! Okay, Uber is making that push to 85. Still might get there. You see how strong stocks stay strong. Yeah, it's a dangerous game to short a stock that's just on a tear like Uber is today. You can do it at certain levels, but you just know that you're probably in it for a good time, not a long time. Yeah, Amazon's been a nice steady climber today. I'd be careful. It's up at R6 now. It's quite extended. There goes Uber.
We'll just wait for Lenny a little bit longer to come back on.
Okay, sounds good.
Lenny, we see you, but we can't hear you.
Awesome.
All right, Lenny's back. Well, PLTR is finally selling off a little bit here. A bit of profit taking.
So you can't hear me, or you can hear me?
We can hear you now.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, so Lenny's back, guys. I'll turn things over to him. I hope everyone had a good morning. And yeah, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Again, watch for my YouTube video on the weekend, swing trade video, market recap video. But yeah, like and subscribe and give us some likes. Cheers, everybody.
Sorry, stand by. I think Lenny signed out. 1 second. Okay, seems like Lenny's having technical issues, so we're going to end it here. Everybody, have a good weekend, trade safe, as Peter would say, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.